What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo, and today we are going to upgrade our SCCM to the latest and greatest, which I think is 2503. So let's get right into it. All right, so today's all about upgrading our SCCM to 2503. I have my black book with my notes, and here we go. So there's a couple of things that we need to do before we upgrade to SCCM 2503. So first things first, gotta make sure you're running somewhat the latest and greatest SCCM. My environment right now is running 2409. So that allows me to do a direct upgrade to 2503, which is great. You got to have the latest and greatest .NET framework. You got to have at least 4.6.2. Make sure that your SCCM server is fully patched. Yes, fully patched, which is one of those things that I don't really do within my lab environment because, again, it's testing environment. But within production, definitely push out all the Windows updates. You have to have the latest and greatest Microsoft ODBC. I think the latest one right now is version 18.1.0 or later. Again, I have my notes right here. That's the reason why I'm looking down. Make sure you back up your site database. If you have your SCCM talking to a SQL server, make sure that you're backing up that server and that database. The latest and greatest ADK, Windows ADK, as well as the Windows PE. 2503 supports the latest version, and we're going to be upgrading our ADK stuff. And Microsoft Visual C++, you got to have the latest and greatest. And 2503 is not pushed out to the public as of yet, so you have to get a copy of the early update ring PowerShell script to get that, so you are able to download it within your SCCM console. First thing that we need to do is upgrade our Windows ADK. So this is my SCCM server. I'm going to open up the control panel. And right now, my Windows ADK is running 10.1.22,000.1. And for the WinPE, I'm running the same version. So we're going to head over to this website right here. Click on download the Windows ADK 10.1.26,100.2451, which is December 2024 edition, as well as the Windows PE. Within my downloads folder, I created a folder called SCCM 2503. Inside this folder, I broke everything down with ADK, the early update ring script, Microsoft Visual C++, and the ODBC drivers, because this is everything that I need to do within my server before we install 2503. So the first thing that we need to do is Windows ADK. So if I go inside the ADK folder, I have my ADK setup and the WinPE. I already downloaded all that stuff. Now, as you know, when you're dealing with upgrading your Windows ADK as well as the Windows WinPE, you can't just run these things right away. You got to actually uninstall the old one to install the new one. I know it's weird. Microsoft, we need to fix that. Allow us to run this exe file and upgrade whatever version that we have. But, whatever. I'm going to select my Windows ADK, and I'm going to select uninstall. And from here, I'm going to click yes. It's going to start uninstalling everything. And once it's done, you're going to get this. So click on close. Now select your Windows PE, do the same thing, click on uninstall, click yes here. It's going to start uninstalling the features. And once everything is done, you're going to get this. Beautiful. Click on close. Now, once everything is removed, wherever you drop your ADK and your WinPE.exe files, go to it. For me, was my downloads folder. So I selected my ADK setup.exe file. I right-clicked on it, and I selected run as an administrator. Once you do that, you get this nice little wizard. I'm going to leave everything as the default. I'm going to click next here. I typically say no. I click next. For the license agreement, just basically click accept. I leave everything as the default, and I click install. Give it some time, and once everything is done, you're going to get the following. Excellent. So click on close. Now, ADK is out of the way. Next thing that we need to do is the WinPE. So select your ADK WinPE setup file. Right-click on it. Run as an administrator. You're going to get this. Again, I leave everything as the default. I'm going to click next here. I typically say no, click next. For the license agreement, accept. It's only one option, so click install. It's going to start installing, and once everything is done, you're going to get the following, and all you have to do is just click on close. So let's head inside the control panel, and if you go inside your control panel, you're basically going to see that my Windows ADK as well as my Windows WinPE is running the latest and greatest version, which is 10.1.26.100.2454. So we're good to go. Now, Windows ADK is completed. We need to take care of my Visual C++. So I'm going to head into my downloads further, and we're going to go into the Microsoft Visual C++ folder. Let's double click on that. And I'm going to right click on the exe. I'm going to run it as an administrator. We're going to check off, I agree to the license terms and condition, and then click install. And it's going to start installing. Now, once it completes, you're going to get the following. It's going to want you to restart your server. So there's going to be some downtime. So make sure you're not, have a major project that you need to do deployments or anything like that. Schedule this stuff because you need to patch your server up. And when you push this, you need to restart. So I clicked on restart. It's going to restart the machine. So the next step is to upgrade your ODBC. And I went into my downloads folder and I selected my ODBC driver for the SQL. I double clicked on the folder. I right clicked on the MSI and I clicked on install. You're going to get this, which is great. I was running a lower version, an older version, which is time for me to upgrade, which was good. I clicked on yes. It gave me the wizard. I clicked next here. I selected I accept the terms in the license agreement and I clicked on next. I left everything as the default and I clicked next here and click install. And it's going to start installing the ODBC driver version 18 for your SQL server. And once it completes, you're going to get the following and just click on finish. I think the next step that we need to do is run the early ring. What is it? The early ring script, the PowerShell script. So you could pull down, your SCCM is able to pull down 2503. But before I do that, I want to show you guys what version I'm running. So I'm going to open up my SCCM configuration manager console. And on the upper left-hand side, let's call it the file tab. So let's click on the file tab. And let's click on About Configuration Manager. I'm currently running 2409, which allows me to go directly to 2503. And also, from my understanding, you don't really need to push out any hot fixes or hot patches. With 2409, you could just go directly without pushing out hot fixes. I typically like to push out the patches and the hot fixes before I go to a major upgrade. Like I said, 2503 is not being advertised, so you need to get the PowerShell script. It's not public as of yet. And if you go into your Microsoft Configuration Manager and you go inside administration, and within administration, click on updates and servicing, it's not there, which is good. And like I said before, I like to push out any hotfix rollups or patches or whatever is being advertised here. Hopefully you guys are doing the same thing to keep your SCCM fully patched. Because 2503 is not there, we need to get a hold of the early ring script to download it. So I'm going to head into my downloads folder. And there goes the folder that I created called Early Update Ring Script for 2503. I'm going to double click on the folder. And there is an exe file. We're going to right click on that exe file and we're going to select Run as an Administrator. I'm going to click OK because it's going to extract that PowerShell script where the exe file is located. So just click OK. Extraction completed. Click OK here. And there goes the PowerShell. Once you have the PowerShell file, I typically like to go into the Start menu and locate the Windows PowerShell ISE. And I like to right click on it. I'm going to go to More and I'm going to select Run as an Administrator. And it's going to load this up. On the toolbar, I'm going to click on the folder so I can locate that PowerShell script. And there goes the PowerShell script. Select it and let's click on Open. I like to do it this way because I like to look at the coding. I do understand PowerShell code, so I like to look at it before I run it, make sure it's kosher. I'm just going to run the entire PowerShell script, and once you run it, you're going to get the following. it's going to want you to enter your site server. Now, for your site server, it is your SCCM server, but you have to enter the full qualified domain name, which for me would be the following. I'm going to hit enter. And if everything goes well, the command completed successfully. That's what you should get, which is great. Now we are going to basically open up our configuration manager on your SCCM server desktop. We're going to click on start. We're going to locate the configuration manager console and we're going to select it and give it some time because it's connecting to the database. And if it connects to the database successfully, it's going to load up here, which is good. We're going to go into administration. We're going to go to updates and servicing. And if everything works well, you should see Configuration Manager 2503 available. There it goes, available to download. So I'm going to right click on it and you only have one option and that's to download. So click on download. It's going to give you this informational dialog box. So just click on OK. On the state column, it's going to change and it's going to say downloading. Now on the lower right hand side where it says related objects, we're going to click on show status. And it's going to take you here. We're going to right click on the Configuration Manager 2503 and we're going to select show status. It's going to take you here. I like being here for a while and just click on the refresh button like a madman because it gives you a nice overview of what's happening behind the scenes. When I clicked on refresh, everything in the bottom was downloaded with no problem. So that allowed me to go back inside the updates and servicing section and within the state column, ready to install, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to right click on it. And if you have been tuning in with a lot of my SCCM videos, I typically do not run the requirement check. Best practice is to run that first. And if you have any problems, fix it and then rerun it again until you're green. But if you do install update pack, it's going to check the requirements anyway. So why do that? I don't know. It's weird. A lot of people want to do that first, fix the problems, but I like to just go straight into it because it's going to check for the requirements. So let's select install update pack. I like to ignore any requirement checks or warnings. So I check that off and I'm going to click on next. For features, I typically don't touch this. I click next here. I leave update without validating. I click next here. Definitely check off I accept these license terms and privacy statement. Click next. I uncheck enable cloud attach. I click next here. A nice little summary, click next and wait. And once everything is done, a green check mark and then close it. Once you do that, on the state column is going to change to installing. And eventually, give it some time. It's going to switch it to this. It's checking for the core requirements. Like I said before, it's going to check the requirements anyway. And on the lower right-hand side, underneath related objects, we're going to click on show status. It's going to take you here. I'm going to right-click on the Configuration Manager 2503. We're going to select show status, and it's going to take you here. And we already did the download part, so we're going to go into the replication. From here, you got to wait because it's in progress. I clicked on refresh again. It went into the section to check all the core requirements. I did get some warnings and I think I got 3 warnings. And one of the warnings was the following, an SQL warning. The other one was an application catalog role. It's not supported anymore. And the last one was the following, which was the network access account alert. Those are the 3 warnings that I got. I think hopefully if I remember, and if you guys want these 3 warnings, I might do a follow-up video how to fix them. On the next update, you won't get these warnings anymore and you just get straight green check marks. And it's great to have all of them green check mark. Don't get me wrong, the warnings allows you to have or allows you to upgrade your SCCM successfully, which is good. Is when you get those errors, that's when it stops. It doesn't allow you. So again, I would say go get lunch, come back. You could refresh like a madman like I did. But when I was clicking on refresh, it went to the installation part. It was checking the server readiness. It was extracting the update package. If you click on refresh again, green check marks, it gets to the upgraded configuration database. The database, it takes a while. If your SCCM database is not locally, it's pretty quick. But if you have the SCCM database on another server, This process does take some time. And if you refresh again, it's going to start installing the files. If you refresh again, it's going to start the WMI services. If you click refresh again, it's going to start doing the post installation, which is installing all the services that it needs to run properly behind the scenes. If you refresh again, it's going to start updating the configuration manager client stuff. If you refresh again, you get all green check marks. Now, all green check marks, this is it. Installation is done. So you're probably saying to yourself, typically the SCCM client needs an upgrade. It should pop up. For me, it didn't pop up automatically. So I actually had to go into the updates and servicing. And on the toolbar, I had to click on refresh. As soon as I clicked on refresh, I got this. This is what you want, right? You want that warning. A new version of the console is available. We're going to click OK. And as soon as you click OK, don't freak out. Your SCCM console will close. And once it closes up, you're going to get this. It's going to start downloading the files. Once the files are downloaded, you're going to get the following. Once this is done, it's going to start updating the extensions. And once the extensions are updated, your SCCM console should load up automatically like this. Now, once it gets to this point, it's going to try to connect to the database. And it's like me biting my nails. I'm like, oh my God, please connect. But if everything works well, it should connect successfully to this. Everything loaded up properly, which is great. Okay. You have to be patient. The SCCM console, once it's upgraded, it will load up automatically for you. I've had instance that I'm freaking out because it's not loading up. But if you take a chill pill, it will load up for you. Once it's completed, on the upper left-hand side, we're going to click on the File tab. Let's call it the File tab. Let's click on About Configuration Manager. And we are version 2503. Yes. So once you have your console and the SCCM server to 2503, we have to do a couple of things. And one of the things I like to do, I think best practice is update your boot images. So to update your boot images, we're going to go into software. Within software, let's go into the operating system further. Within here, let's go into the boot images and select your boot image. For me, it would be boot image x64. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to select update distribution points. I typically like to check off reload the boot image with the current Windows PE version from the Windows ADK. And we're going to click next. A nice little summary. We're going to click next here. And this process takes a while, especially if you're reloading everything. And if everything works well, green check marks, and we're going to close it. Within your SCCM console, we're going to go into administration. Within administration, we're going to go into the site configuration folder. And let's go into sites. We're going to basically select our sites, which for me would be BTN or BTNHD HQ site. And on the toolbar, we're going to click on Hierarchy Settings. And let's go to the last tab, which is Client Upgrade. Make sure you have Upgrade all clients in your hierarchy using Production Client. Gotta have that checked off. Once you have that checked off, you have an additional option to automatically upgrade your clients within a certain amount of days. By default, it is 7. You are able to decrease that or increase it. It is up to you. Within my lab, I have it on 7. I think at my 9-to-5 job, we have, I think, maybe 2 or 3 days. Yeah, and that's it. That is how we upgrade our SCCM to 2503. Okay. We were currently 2409. We pushed out everything that we needed before we upgraded to 2503. And if you're running 2409, 2409, whatever you want to say, 09 or 0309 or 09, whichever way you want. If you're running 2409, you are able to do a direct upgrade, which is great. If you are not running 2409, got to make sure you upgrade to 2409, and that will allow you to push out 2503. And that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.